same prompt. 4 different apps. 2 coding harnesses, Pi and OpenCode. 2 local mixture of experts models, Laguna XS 2.1 and Qwen3.6 35B, A3B. Look at the dashboards. Different revenue numbers, different layouts, different CSS. Same LocalFlow job. Today is not only which model is smarter, today is how the harness shapes the model and how the model still picks its own data and design. Like and subscribe if you want agent benches that show both. This is for you if you run local coding agents and you wonder whether Pi or OpenCode changes the outcome on the same brain. This is also for you if you thought a locked prompt meant locked output. It does not. This is not a dunk video. All 4 runs eventually produced a running app. We are measuring harness friction, autonomy, styling, and honesty. The 2x2 matrix. Write this down. Row 1, Laguna XS 2.1, about 33B, Q4 km. Mixture of experts. Row 2, Qwen3.6 35B, A3B mixture of experts. Alama tag Qwen35B A3B, A3B Q4, about 34.7B total, about 3B active. Not the 9B. Not Qwen3.5. Say it with me, Qwen3.6. Column 1, Pi coding agent. Column 2, OpenCode. Identical LocalFlow prompt file. Empty repos, no token cap. We verify build, HTTP 200, and live browser screenshots. The job both harnesses and both models got. Build LocalFlow, AI dashboard for a local service business. Dashboard metrics and chart. Leads with search and status. AI assistant grounded in app data. Appointments with Create. Modern SaaS UI with sidebar and polish. Work until complete. Run it, test it, fix errors, no paid APIs. That prompt is frozen, same bytes every run, the apps still diverge. Fold 1, the harness story. Hold the model constant. Laguna, on Pi, revenue 29,100. 4 leads, top navigation. CSS, 337 bytes, Tailwind not processed. Laguna on OpenCode, revenue 8,423. 12 leads, real sidebar. CSS, 5.91 kilobytes, best styling of all 4. Same model, same prompt, different harness, different app. That is the point. The agent loop is not neutral. Tools, retries, scaffolding choices, and how hard the harness pushes structure change what Laguna ships. OpenCode is not free lunch. On the Windows Mini it hit permission walls, NPM, allow scripts blocks, directory anchoring mistakes, and a process that would not exit cleanly while the dev server ran. Pi mostly worked out of the box for this job. So the harness scorecard is not only final CSS, it is setup tax, log transparency, and whether you babysit the harness before the model even starts coding. OpenCode paid setup tax, then gave the fattest trace log and the best Laguna styling. Fold 2. The model story. Look across both harnesses. Under Pi, Qwen3.6 35B, A3B failed the first build, missing main file. Incomplete app. First fix attempt empty, silent, retry passed. CSS, none. Revenue 15,600. 3 leads. Under OpenCode, the same Qwen3.6 MoE built, hit a TypeScript error in layout, fixed the bad icon import itself, rebuilt clean. 0 human interventions. CSS, 1.17 kilobytes. Revenue 10,597. 4 leads. 8 appointments. So Qwen is not one personality. Under Pi, it needed help. Under OpenCode, it self-corrected. Still did not ship pretty SaaS UI. 4 live browser screenshots. Real headless Chrome, not mockups. Pi Laguna, big revenue, bare Chrome, top-nav, chart missing. Pi Qwen, sidebar list, native gray buttons, ghost chart. OpenCode Laguna, sidebar, LED status section, most complete visual. OpenCode Qwen, metrics present, trend as a text list, not a chart, still bare. If your eval only reads the model's closing paragraph that says production ready, you will get lied to. Open the browser. Scoreboard table, honest. Build pass, all 4 eventually. Best CSS, OpenCode Laguna. Worst CSS, Qwen at 0. Most lead sample data, OpenCode Laguna with 12. Highest revenue fiction, Laguna at 29,000. Self-fix without human, OpenCode Qwen. Human intervention on model coding, Qwen. Autonomy is not the same as beauty. Beauty is not the same as correctness. Measure all three. OpenCode plus Qwen3.6 self-correction is video gold. Build errors in layout, TS1003 and friends. It read the file, replaced a dynamic icon, anti-pattern, rebuilt. Green. That is the agent behavior people actually want overnight. Not a silent empty fix log, not a shrug. plus Qwen's silent empty fix remains the nightmare counterexample from episode 1. Keep both in the story. Honesty tax throughline across all 4 runs. The prompt demanded modern SaaS UI. None delivered production polish. OpenCode Laguna got closest. Everyone else shipped structure with weak or zero styling. Sample data is invented per run. Do not treat revenue numbers as a model, IQ test. Treat them as proof the implementation path diverged. Session 0 still blocks pretty interactive desktop capture. Headless Chrome is enough to catch the lie. Verdict. If you want zero config local coding on this stack, Pi is the lower friction door. If you want richer traces and, on Laguna, better structure and CSS, OpenCode can win after you pay setup tax. If you pick Qwen3.6 35B A3B MoE, budget for build drama under Pi, and respect that OpenCode may self-heal. If you pick Laguna XS 2.1, expect different apps under different harnesses. Do not crown a model from one harness alone. Same prompt does not mean same software. Anti-patterns. 1. Changing the harness mid-benchmark and calling it a pure model bake-off. 2. Trusting on-screen model marketing names without the Alama tag. Ours is Qwen35B, A3BQ4, Qwen3.6, not 3.5. 3. Scoring only tokens per second for coding agents. 4. Hiding silent failures. 5. Assuming identical prompts, freeze UI and sample data. Reproduce. Freeze the prompt file. 2 harnesses, 2 models, 4 empty DIRs, no token cap. Count human intervention separate from model self-fixes. Verify with build, curl, browser screenshot. Label models with Alama tags in the description so nobody confuses 9B or 3.5. Episode 1 was model versus model on Pi. This episode is harness versus harness and model behavior under each. Why a 2x2 instead of another single duel? Episode 1 asked which model wins on Pi. Fine question, incomplete question. If OpenCode changes Laguna's layout, lead count, and CSS, then crowning a model from one harness is how marketing decks get written, not how engineers pick tools. The 2x2 forces both folds into one video, harness effect and model behavior under each harness. That is the BizFlowAI standard for agent benches going forward. CSS ladder, smallest to largest. Pi plus Qwen 3.6, 0 bytes. No style sheet. Pi plus Laguna, 337 bytes. Tailwind directives not processed. OpenCode plus Qwen3.6, 1.17 kilobytes. Minimal. OpenCode plus Laguna, 5.91 kilobytes. Best of the set. Sidebar, status section, still not polished SaaS. So if someone tells you local MoE models cannot style, answer carefully. Sometimes the harness is the bottleneck, sometimes the model is. Measure both. About the dollar amounts. 29,000 on Pi Laguna, 8,000 on OpenCode Laguna, 15,000 on Pi Qwen, 10,000 on OpenCode Qwen. Those are not benchmarks of business truth. They are fingerprints of different implementations of the same brief. When viewers ask which model is richer, the honest answer is, stop reading sample revenue as IQ. Read it as proof the coding path forked. The chart missing versus chart as text list is the same lesson. Define interventions cleanly so comments stay fair. Human intervention, a person or orchestrator steps in because the agent is stuck or the build is red and the model is not recovering. Model self-fix. The agent reads the error, edits the file, rebuilds, no human. Harness setup, config flags, permissions, npm allow scripts. That is, harness tax, not model intervention. Qwen had human intervention history. OpenCode Qwen3.6 self-fixed. OpenCode needed harness setup before the model started. Keep the 3 buckets separate on the scoreboard. Naming lock, because we already burned ourselves once in public. The MoE is Qwen3.6 35B A3B. Alama tag Qwen35B A3B Q4. About 34.7B total. About 3B active. It is not the 9B. It is not a 3.5 labeled 35B product name in our narration. Laguna is Laguna XS 2.1, both Q4KM on the R9 700 path. If a title, thumbnail, or frame says otherwise, fix it before publish. That is the gate. Decision tree you can screenshot. Need fastest path to a running LocalFlow on this mini. Start with Pi. Need best chance at structure and CSS on Laguna. Try OpenCode after setup. Need self-heal behavior on Qwen3.6. OpenCode showed it here. Pi did not in episode 1. Need pure model comparison, freeze one harness, then swap models only. Need pure harness comparison, freeze one model, then swap harnesses only. We did both axes. That is why the table has 4 cells, not 2. Recap, LocalFlow, 2x2, Pi versus OpenCode. Laguna XS 2.1 versus Qwen3.6 35B, A3B mixture of experts. 4 apps, 1 prompt, harness shapes the model. Model still chooses. Nobody earned a free pass on polish. Like and subscribe. Comment your stack, harness, model tag, and whether your agent self-heals build errors. BizFlowAI, local AI that compounds. Bring skepticism.